There is a world just beyond now where reality rides a razor-thin seam between fact and possibility, where the laws of the present collide with the crimes of tomorrow. Patrolling these vast outlands is a new breed of lawman, guarding the fringes of society's frontiers. They are known simply as Highwaymen. And this is their story.
By the gods of science fiction! Hello and welcome to What If It Could Come Back. And today we're going to be covering 1988's Highwayman TV series. Now you're going to say I've done this and could have been a classic. Yes I did it several years ago. That was in of its potential. Now I'm redoing it because I think there's so much going on in this series. I've just sat through it all again, watched it, and my god, this could definitely come back. Starring Flash Gordon, Mr. Tuvok, Diana from V, and some guy did Energizer adverts and was an Australian football player. So let's start with the premise. You've got a secret organisation that's way above the standard of federal law enforcement, above the NSA, above the Homeland Security, above the CIA. It's about a very high-tech organisation. They have trucks. They go around the highways of America dealing with stuff that can't be explained. Already we have a premise for something that's amazing. They carry ultra high-tech weapons, the vehicles can do stuff, and of course you have the standard genius who figures it all out, and the two heroic characters, and the bossy lady boss. So now the question is, could this be set today? Yes. So what you have, I've just explained that secret organisation, way above the standard. They're like an X-Files organisation. They're very top secret, high classification. But their job is, they deal with stuff that's paranormal, alien, interdimensional, time travel, all of it. And they are each operatives have a truck. There's a team of 4. And the boss back at the secret base in a mountain. These trucks go out all over the place and they deal with like ghosts, interdimensional stuff, definitely an alien conspiracy going on in the background, which you could have going on all through the series, like a body snatchers thing. And all kinds of weird shit, like the time travel one. Now in the original series they dealt with clones, an android takeover, again alien invasion, time travel, Red Indian spirits. I mean, they really covered some high-tech crime. And like in the intro, they deal with stuff at the edge of the law, edge of reality and fantasy. And this is their job. Now on the team, you've got Highway, Same character, Sam J. Jones. He had an experience, military combatant, special forces, very open-minded, but he experienced something in his past, and this is the focus for the conspiracy of the bigger picture in the background. We have the Jetto character. He's his sideman, goes everywhere. He's got his own truck and a team, but they work together quite a lot. The Jane Badler character, Winthrop, she's the boss. And we have DC Montana, Tuvok's character, I forgot his name. But we have DC Montana, he's like the scientist guy. But then we're bringing another lady character who's got a vast amount of knowledge on the supernatural. And there's so many of these trucks, they cover certain parts of America, and their job is to deal with this stuff. Now, on board the truck, there's devices, technology, computer library, all kinds of stuff that is there ready to access when they go into an area. They have command over the military, they can pull in roadblocks going for miles. There's nothing where they cannot go, but they're constantly moving around because weird things, like you could have an episode where the Sasquatch, where they go catch run, and there's a lot more going on with it. There's so much potential with the concepts of Highwayman. Now it makes sense. It's such a shame the original series never got this chance to go down this path. Now I think this could be brought back into a very dark series with the same type of characters. Now the characters in this have all been touched by something rather weird, like with Highway, this experience of this extraterrestrial thing. The lady who's in charge of the supernatural, I'd have her as she's like from a Red Indian tribe, and she's got vast knowledge on history and supernatural, and her father was a mystic, and she's got these like telepathic abilities. Jetto, touched by something. Winthrop, the boss, definitely touched by something. DC Montana, he's seen it all, he's freaked out, but he's not been sort of touched. I mean, we could bring in like the android invasion thing, evil corporation, mystical artifacts, but all these characters have had something tragic in their life except the scientist dude. Until you could have something happen to him at the end of the series. But there's this ongoing plot going on in the background. And they answer to a mysterious boss above them, like a council, and they're involved in some plot conspiracy. And this is where we go with this, and they're on the road. So like everything that people joke about, and did you see that light in the sky? They're there. They don't matter how irrelevant it is, they're there. They're like Men in Black type characters. They turn up in these trucks, and they can call in a squad of security personnel as well to reinforce them. But the weapons are different. They've got energy weapons, and it's all highly, top secret. But the conspiracy becomes very interesting each episode, and we get like in the first season, it all builds up to level 1 of the ongoing story. But there will be a lot of one-off stories of strange things. So like I said, you've got all these strange events happening. Now I'd have a containment truck, and there's a vault in this vault, like this installation they've got, like with artifacts and stuff. Everything gets stored in there. Part of the conspiracy through the series, one of the council, who we don't really see, is sort of like sidelining certain objects. I'd have say like there's a vampire biker gang riding around all of the backlands of America, the Badlands, and they have to be stopped. There's a werewolf thing, but if they can't kill these things, then they get taken to a vault, and there's a counteractive room where it neutralizes them, and it's all in there, artifacts, strange creatures, or whatever. Now I'm not going to try and make it like that's been done before. I mean, most of the stuff they do terminate, because it's a threat to the human race. But there's certain artifacts of power, alien technology, some of it's disappearing, and Winthrop, their boss, their section leader, starts figuring it out of the conspiracy, in this series. So we have this conspiracy in the background, but it won't be done every episode. It'd be like, I'd start the first episode in season 1 with Highway wandering out of the desert 10 years ago, or so many years ago, with just like in a traumatic state, and this truck is there. And then I jumped 10 years later. Oh, what you could do is, he's retired from the military, he's had a very good career, he's driving through the desert, he's going somewhere on holiday with his family, and something happens, like fog comes round the car, bright lights or something, and his family are disappeared. And a day or so later, he's just wandering out of the desert, and he's in shock. Something weird has happened, and there's a truck. Now, who would I have to play Highwayman? Alan Richardson from is it Jack Preacher? He played Aquaman in Smallville. I think he's got a look of Sam Jones a bit, and I could sort of see him playing like the new Highwayman. Obviously there's numerous people that could play the other characters, but for some reason I think he'd work as Highwayman. I really do. So what I'd do with this, I'd go for a 10-part series. I'd start with a 2-hour pilot movie, jumping back into the 5 characters who were in the organisation, and then we get to see some of the bigger organisation, and we get flashbacks of the past of why they're all doing what they're doing. Now the conspiracy, I haven't really worked that out, but I think that could go somewhere big. It's global domination. There's an episode in season 2 where they end up in a town after the big blowout from season 1, where they get set up on this object. They're meant to get this object. It's got mystical powers, and it disappears, and that's it. So they end up in a town somewhere in season 2, and they know about his family. It disappeared all them years ago, and they're like alien parasites, and Highway destroys them all, but one of them survives, and before he dies he says, I know where your family is, and that's it. It starts from that. I like the concept of the biker vampires that, gone the back roads of America, and they could be reoccurring. And also he knows of this force that took his family, and the conspiracy back at the headquarters of this secret organisation, and somebody on the higher ups is manipulating events, and the vampires have the same weaknesses, like crosses and all that. I mean, you bring it all in, real horror stuff. A mad scientist who's bringing the dead back to life, or a necromancer. And you could have there could be like a sorcerer dude that turns up now and again, who's friends with the mystic woman who's with us, telepathic, possession. You bring all these things, but it's all going somewhere to this moment of this alignment of this event to change the world. And their job is to stop it, but they don't know what's coming. And each season we get more of this bigger picture. So is it a mystical force that took his family, or is it aliens? We're going to find out in season 5. And this is where I take it. I don't want to spoil this for everyone, because I'll be here all day going on about this. But this series, now looking at it from a 2022 perspective, has so much potential. And I think personally it could be up there with Supernatural. I really do. High-tech organisation with mystical capabilities and magic and sorcery and all that thrown in, and a team of experts. But each truck, there's containment trucks, a military unit, laboratory truck. These trucks, they have these capabilities, and vehicles like a flying car that comes out, or a helicopter, or a miniature sub, and they're basically indestructible. They're there to do these jobs. This is why you have a truck, because it takes the necessary equipment to where they're going. This is why this makes sense. I love the conspiracy idea of this, and the vampire bikers is sort of interesting. You could have 1 or 2 villains that are turning up. I wouldn't make it like Buffy, or it'd be its own thing. There's this organisation that's so top secret that it's dealing with this. So this is why I'd bring Highwayman back. So that's my review of this. So Thank you for tuning in. Please give this channel a like. Please subscribe. Helps me out. And share the video. And I will see you on another episode of What If It Could Come Back.